breed and buy and sell Connemara ponies and part-bred Connemara ponies. And I was asked on Facebook, what's our process for choosing a buyer? Do we have a process for choosing a buyer? Actually, it was a very long question. There was lots of parts to it, which is why I'm going to try and answer it in long form first. I'm going to have a chat with you guys on this YouTube video first, and then I'll see if I can shorten it into some kind of short form content, which I'm not sure, because there's a lot to talk about around this. So how do we choose a buyer for our ponies? Now, we don't have a specific structure to our choosing of a buyer, our selling process at all, really. We've not been breeding for that many years, and also don't breed that many per year. And it's always been quite relaxed. We've never had a set time we want to sell them by. So if they sell as a yearling, fine. 3-year-old, fine. It's very much dependent on the pony themselves and what buyers come forward. It's a bit different now though, because now I'm on social media. The ponies get seen by more people, and people identify with that pony, and if they're pony shopping, they ask about that pony, and that's brilliant. That's massively helped me out, because it means that people know the pony before I talk to them. So it's not just an advert describing a pony and I've got to get across the attributes of that pony in that advert. They've seen the pony in videos. They've seen what they look like. They've seen how they move. They've seen their attitude. They've heard me talk about them. They've seen how they interact with other herd members. They really can get a sense of what that pony's like in its temperament, in its its build. There's so much about the pony which would be really hard to put into an advert. And obviously an advert, you want a pony to sound really, really good, but while being really, really honest. I don't know, I find it really challenging, because I want to be as honest as possible, but possibly sometimes overly so, because I want to make sure people know what they're getting, because I think that means they're going to have the best chance of it being a good match, which is obviously better for our reputation, but really it's better for the pony if they're matched to somebody who's the right person for them. Means they're more likely to be, stay in that home. It's just gonna be a happier outcome. I know it doesn't always work, and you can buy ponies and it's not the right fit and you sell them on, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But if we can match the right pony to the right owner, I think that's got to be a good thing. I'm just gonna check sound. It's good, despite being really windy. The sound was fine. Okay, so back to it. So yeah, we haven't had a set structure, a set way, like a checklist of the buyer or a way to advertise. We've sometimes used websites to advertise, not really recently, because as I was saying, using social media, or with the ponies being on social media, not even advertised, just appearing, people have come to me. So most recently, ponies have sold because people have just seen them. They've seen them in videos and said, is that pony available? Or when do you advertise? I said, well, we don't really advertise, but if you like one, let me know. Oh, well, I've been watching this one and I really like them. So mostly we sort of have been selling through people seeing a pony in a video, liking it and getting in touch. And that's fantastic, because that person has identified that pony meets their needs, and I don't really need to tell them that much about it. I can make sure they have seen the videos and understood, okay, so you do know this about this pony. It's expected to make this sort of height. It's got this sort of temperament. It's this sort of build. These are its parents, and strengths and weaknesses and all sorts. But mostly people know that because they've seen them in the video. So that's great. In terms of what we want from a buyer, I mean, we don't breed for any particular discipline or any particular outcome. We don't expect them to go into the showroom. We don't expect them to be competing at high level at anything, or competing at all at anything. Completely happy for them to just be family pets, family ponies, or not necessarily family people ponies that are just pets. Happy hacker is fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with a happy hacker. And if they just make happy ponies and happy people, that's absolutely fine. So we've got of course it would be lovely if we were at the breed show one year and it was Ellithwaite so-and-so was, getting the red rosette. Amazing. Of course that'd be amazing. But, we're not necessarily breeding for that. They don't have to go to showing homes. They don't have to go to any kind of homes. They just have to go to people who have understanding of forage and friends and freedom. So turnout is really important. The people that sort of have the same outlook as us on turnout. So turnout year round. It doesn't have to be 24/7 year round, but year round turnout is really important. Although of course people can tell us whatever they want to tell us, can't they? And there's only so much you can check. But yeah, normally in talking to people, I think you get a really good understanding of that. And why would people lie? Anyway, so significant turnout, sufficient and significant turnout. Friends, so turnout with others. Doesn't have to be a herd, doesn't have to be mixed like ours are, but not individual turnout, particularly if they're getting a youngster. And Yeah, forage, well, that just comes with turnout, really. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a hay-only track or a green pasture or whatever, really. Yeah, just so turnout, really, I suppose, when I say forage. So just basically species appropriate. We want the horses to have a species appropriate life, and that's it. In terms of experience, experience and match the pony you're buying, I think, is how I would put it. Like, everybody's got to start somewhere. I did. We all did. And I didn't have youngsters before I had youngsters. Like, at some point, you just have to have a youngster before you can't just always have had them. So if they haven't had youngsters before, that doesn't necessarily mean they can't buy a youngster from us. I guess it's about having enough experience to know what you don't know. It's probably it. If you have quite a bit of horse experience but not really youngster experience, I think that would be fine, because you're going to know what you don't know. And assuming that is a youngster, which is probably quite a forgiving one if you haven't had them before. So something like Callie or Annie, who is so super easy, both so super easy, I would say could go to somebody who hasn't had youngsters before, because they're just so easy. As long as you're familiar with horses, you'll be fine with those youngsters. Whereas like MJ as a youngster, if he'd have gone as a foal, I think you'd want to be really experienced with, well, not just youngsters, with his type of pony, with his kind of sort of wariness, etc. So if they're quite a straightforward pony, whatever age, I think they could potentially go to people who haven't got as much experience. But ideally, people would have a village around them, support around them. So an experienced livery yard, like people that they can ask. So when they don't know, they can ask. So I think that's about it, really. Like, in terms of experience, it's really hard to say and to know, but every pony's individual, and we just like to have a chat with the people and try to establish what their areas of knowledge are. And as long as we don't think it's too lacking for a pony, like, I would say, yes, a pony like MJ, I've lost him, he's here. If you haven't had nervous horses before, or you haven't had horses before, try and change my arm because that is achy. Yeah, MJ's just, he's just slightly warier. So I think you would just want to be quite a confident person. That's probably a thing. If it's a horse a bit like Nell or MJ, you want to be confident. That's the thing. I think Nell particularly could probably take advantage of somebody who isn't confident, which she does with me a little bit when it comes to doing her feet. Yeah, I lack a bit of confidence with it because she's been so kicky in the past. I am a bit like, I don't want those kicks again, or to be in line of them. So I'm tentative around her feet, and I think she takes advantage of that. Horses don't take. I mean, I'm humanizing, anthropomorphizing horses, but I do think Nell wants a confident owner, because I think she is the kind of pony that wants an owner who's like, no, we're doing it like this one, confidently, calmly, and she'll take her confidence from that, and we'll be like, yeah, okay, that's what we're doing, I'm all right with that. Whereas if she thinks maybe she doesn't have to, or the messaging isn't clear, like for me, I think maybe sometimes my messaging wasn't clear because I was tentative, then she's not confident, and then it's not working well. So I think that's all I would say with some ponies, is you want to be confident, and I think you can probably only be that kind of confident if you've got that kind of experience. Oh, I'm going to zoom out again. Let me try that. I think it's a bit better recording out here. If I go on to 0.5, you can see more of the ponies and the view. So yeah, the amount of confidence, amount of experience, attitude towards keeping them, and how you like to keep them sort of in line with how we do. It doesn't have to be like this. Not everyone's got this. I understand that, but friends and freedom. Yeah, just to be species appropriate is all I would say with that one. And if all you want to do with them is pony pat, fine. They're probably better going into some kind of work, because they're all quite good doers. So that's the problem with staying with us, really. If they stay with us beyond like a youngster age, and they're not actually in breeding, so doing work as a broodmare, then they just get too fat. So actually they probably want to be in some kind of work to keep their weight down, because they are good doers naturally, these native ponies. But we don't say they have to be in any kind of work, really. If you want to be a pony patter, absolutely fine. If they're going to go and be therapy ponies, absolutely fine. Happy hackers, eventers, I think some of them will make amazing eventers. I'm not going to choose a home over another one because, this person says they're going to take them eventing, and this person says they're just going to be a happy hacker, because I think just a happy hacker is doing a disservice to the wonderfully happy life the happy hacking pony can have. So no, in terms of what discipline they do, no, that's not really a factor. Whatever people want to do with them, I don't think there's anything that wouldn't be suitable for these guys either. Well, Mm, no, that's not entirely true. I think some ponies maybe are maybe not built to jump, for example. Connemara's as a breed can definitely jump. That's not a Connemara thing. But I think some ponies are just are less inclined, like potentially like the likes of like Edie, like her, if any of her young stock that are like her, I'm not sure they've got the oomph to get over a jump, for example. So I might say, look, I'm not sure that pony is meant for jumping because they maybe haven't got the oomph, or like they get a bit more woe than go. So that's something actually that matters. How much woe and how much go they've got, because I think that's quite a person specific thing. I like a pony with more woe than go because I'm not that confident as a rider. Some people will find that boring. So I think that's quite an important thing to be a good match between person and pony, is how much go you want in that pony. Do you want something zippy? Do you want something like with lots of energy and enthusiasm and forward? Or do you want something really chill and laid back? Because that's a real pony trait, and I don't think they change that much. Maybe like with age and experience they might like chill out a bit, but I think they're naturally forward or naturally slow is probably like an inherent trait in lots of ponies. So if you want something which is going to like march off and go really far, really fast, Edie's not your pony, because she's never going to go anywhere very far or very fast. But if you want something you can put your granny on, Edie is your pony, or Edie's young stock that are like her, which is definitely her oldest, Cece, who's currently jockeying a 4-year-old and doing brilliantly at it. She's perfect for it. And possibly Autumn might be in that bracket as well. So yeah, how much woe, how much go, and what you're looking for as a buyer, as a rider or driver, or whatever it is that you're going to be doing with them. Yeah, because they could drive, they can do dressage, they can do cross country, they can do all of them, they can do eventing, they could do just happy old hacking, they could go western. I think they are multidisciplinary animals. I think the breed is pretty good, lass. You drive, don't you? Ride and drive, don't you, Franks? Frankie does riding and driving. So yeah, I think that in that sense they can do anything, so that's okay. So maybe we should have a strict process or a tick list or something. We just tend to have a conversation with people. You get a lot of information in the first few conversations, which are usually by message or email. Well, not even email, message these days, because that's just the world, isn't it? So we do it by message, and you normally get people sending you pictures before you even ask, sending you pictures of their setup, or like to know their setup. Are they on livery? Do they keep them at home? Like that sort of thing. But ultimately, you can only find out so much. Like, people can tell you what they want to tell you, so you have to go on faith to some extent. We don't honestly go and do site checks. So we've only sold to the UK so far. We would sell abroad, and again, we don't do site checks. We take people at their word to that point. So you just do your best, don't you? And you hope that the ponies are prepared to a point of they have the right attitude and experience to go to do what they're going to do, and they're ready for it. So they're not going before they're ready, so they will embrace it and take it in their stride and find it easy, like not too difficult for them to go to this new place, and therefore they will settle well and it will go well. So you just try to set them up well, basically, and don't sell them before they're ready to go. And then hopefully it all works out. We've had, we've sold, I can't think how many we've sold now. It's not going to be that many. And I'm in touch with, I think we're in touch with all of them. And everyone's doing brilliantly. Two are not in the same home. 2 got sold on, but that's absolutely fine. They are both now settled and fine. Again, in touch with both. The first buyers that we sold to weren't the right match in the end, but that's fine. That was partly experience on our side, partly just didn't work out. It's fine. It doesn't always. And both those ponies are fine. So, and you chatting, Callie, I can hear. But on the whole, they're all out there doing brilliantly. One is competing. The others, I think, are just hacking and doing brilliantly at it, just like jockeying children and teenagers in a few cases. They're doing really well, and I get so much pleasure out of that. Yes, it would be fantastic if they were like winning at everything, but that's probably just for my like pride, my ego, to have like Elthwaite winning things, so that other Connemara pony breeders would be like, wow, look at Elthwaite winning things, they must be really, really good, their ponies must be great. That's an ego thing, isn't it? Because actually our pony's doing really, really great at being sound, sane, happy, healthy family ponies, it's a total win in my book. Like I couldn't be more proud seeing them like as a just 4-year-olds with their young riders on board, just being chill and happy and calm, and their riders loving them to pieces, absolutely smitten with them, and that makes me so happy. So yeah, that's I think it's only my ego really that wants them to go to compete or show and win things. I mean, I suppose if they were competing and winning things like jumping or something, that would show like athleticism and capability. But if they're capable of just being, yeah, happy, healthy, sound, sane, best friends, that's also fine. And then what we have got now is a bit of a situation that I've got myself in where I don't know how to manage people wanting to buy foals. So this year particularly, I had a lot of inquiries about the foals before they, you know, like in the very early days when they were like literally hours or days old. And I didn't really know how to handle them because I wasn't expecting them. I didn't want to just be like, first inquiry, yet that pony sold. I wasn't ready to sign them off really because, you know, they're still unfolding, particularly Archie and Annie were quite, and they needed to unfold. They were bent. They needed to unfold and straighten up. Callie was quite straight from the off, but I think when they're a bit bigger, like Archie and Annie, they just needed to unfold a little bit. So I'm not ready to say like they're good to go because you need to see them unfolded first and make sure they're and they're not going to need help with that. And, you know, their personalities haven't come through. You can't really see their conformation. Don't know how to price them based on that because I think those things all come into it when you're pricing them. And so, yeah, wasn't ready to sort of let them go. But I didn't say that because I didn't really know what to say. I wasn't prepared. I didn't say, look, I'm not prepared to take, like they're not really, they will be available definitely, but I'm not ready to take deposits or anything now because I just need to see what they're going to be like so I know them a bit better so that I know what the right home is a bit better or the right match is a bit better, or at least I can portray them a bit more to potential buyers so they know it's the match for them and also know how to price them. And so I had all these inquiries. I think some of them I honestly didn't respond to because I think they were messes. And not messes, because people, I don't know, because people being nosy and wanting to know the price, I think. So I honestly didn't respond to many of them, but there were a few which were such genuine inquiries with like real heartfelt, like I really am interested. And I wanted to respond, but I didn't really know how to, honestly. And now I think we're probably at the point where the foals, well, Callie has already secured a home. And because I think we are at that point where they can, because they're 3 months old, or next week they'll be 3 months old. And they are straightened out. We know their personalities. They're healthy because, of course, they both went through a poorly bit, especially Callie. And I'm glad at that point that I didn't have somebody with a deposit on her because I would be worrying for another person at that point. Yeah, I see you. I'd be worrying for your owner at that point, or your like to-be owner on completion. So I'm glad there wasn't another person involved at that point to sort of be worried, because they'd be worried too if they seen you being poorly. So I think 3 months though, I think going through this time, I think maybe 3 months is a point where we could say, that's all right. At 3 months, we kind of get an idea of who you are, what you're going to be like, who's going to suit you best, and that you are sort of straight and sound and correct and everything. So we can say, yeah, we are selling a straight and correct pony. And a lovable one, which brings me on to Annie. So I've had all these inquiries about Annie in the early days, which I didn't deal with professionally, that's the word really. I should have said, look, I can't take names or anything now, and I don't want to make a waiting list because a waiting list just gives me a load of admin to then go back and contact them when I am ready, to then probably find that most of them have found ponies, because there's a lot of foals out there available. Mine's not the only one. So if someone's looking to secure a foal ready for the winter and to take as a weanling, they're going to look elsewhere, aren't they? So I'll just be getting back to them, and then if I'm lucky, will get back to me and say thank you, but I did find a pony, I'm not looking, which would be really helpful. But a lot of them probably won't get back to me. They'll just, there's no need for them to, so they won't. So then I'll be waiting for the next one in line. So number one, contact them, wait until they've got back to me to confirm they're not interested, then contact number two, or go straight to number two. Meanwhile, number one gets back to me and says, yes, I am. Then number two gets back to me and says, yes, I am. Oh, goodness me. I'm not sure I can cope with that. So that's why I'm not really wanting to do a waiting list, because I just think it's going to be a lot of admin. And how much thinking time will number one then want? Will they want to come and view before I can make them available to number two? Oh, this sounds like a lot, doesn't it, Cal? Swap arms again. This is really tiring on the arms, this. So what I'm thinking is I can probably, and I got some advice from my subscribers on TikTok and Facebook, to say that Annie is available for a home, and she is ready to be secured with a deposit now. So if you're interested, get in touch. If you were in touch back when she was younger, and we're waiting to hear or anything, just kindly get in touch again. I'll try to prioritize. I don't know, should I prioritize the order in which people got in touch, first come first served sort of thing, or I mean, how will I know that? I mean, ideally, I would find the best home, but as I've just been talking through all the different factors of homes, as long as they love her and look after her, they're all good homes. How am I to say that one's better than another? So yeah, I'm not exactly sure how to go about that. Next time, I'll know what to do. Next time we have foals, I will know that what I need to do is any inquiries that come through before the sort of 3-month mark, I'll say I'll just get back in touch after the sort of 3-month mark, or when I put a post out to say that they are now available. Get in touch then. Lovely that you're interested, thanks very much. But I can't even say like interest noted, because that always sort of implies that I'm going to get back to them, and I just can't be doing that if it's lots of different people, and then like I said, a lot of them will have moved on. So it just sounds I'm making a big meal out of this, and I know I'm making a meal out of this. So we do need a procedure so it's done a bit more professionally, but I just honestly wasn't expecting the number of inquiries that we got. And I should have been. And I don't want to wait till 6 months and then be like, now they're ready, and like everyone's moved on, and everyone who wanted a foal for that winter, a weaning for that winter, has got one, and then we're wintering them when we actually planned not to winter them. Although it would be fine to winter them. You could stay until next year. That would be fine. That'd be fine. And they're not even going to be weaned until back end November, December. So there's plenty of time. Anyway, so yeah, that's my very long way of answering this question about the buyer and buying. How do we choose a buyer? What home do we want for the ponies? What procedure have we got in place? We have been doing it a little bit by the seat of our pants, and probably need to be a bit more structured about it, a bit more professional about it, particularly because the ponies are on social media. So the buyers are coming to us largely, which is fantastic and great for the ponies, because it does match the buyers of the ponies a bit better, I think. Helps people to know that you're the one they want, basically. So now I need to try and condense this long video, which is probably about 15 minutes, into a short form answer, because the question was on Facebook. Yeah, so short form version of this. Wish me luck.